Welcome back. I tell you, this has been a very interesting experience. A little Q&A. I got the message from students. First of all, they were asking me about notebooks and class time when we're in class, what to do. In my class, I require you guys have a physical notebook. I know you like a lot of times you're going, oh gosh, I don't need a notebook. I got my cell phone. I got this. I got that. I don't know how many times I've seen broken phones here. Okay. You fight with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, you throw your phone out, you break it. You guys don't use cases. I don't know. Call me grandpa, okay? But I tell you, honestly, these cases are nice. You drop it, no problem. But what I require you guys to do is really keep a notebook. Now, you're going to ask me why. And when I was a student, I had handwritten notes, and I'd go home at night at the dorm. And if you even watch me today, when I type, I'm a very slow typer. But it's very important. As a matter of fact, I still have my notebook from my school days, which was all handwritten, and then I typed it out at night, categorized it, everything. One thing about Western cooking and things like that, these things don't really change. These recipes, basic recipes, especially as a freshman, fusion food does evolve, but it always goes back to the basics. And this is another thing about this class that you have to really understand. Please try to understand the basics, understand the flavor groups we talked about, things like that. Then you can put anything, then you can be the master chef, okay? First, you got to get the basics down, but you're going to need this. I still use this book. When I give you a recipe for chicken stock, it's out of this book. It's out of this book, that's for sure. And you say, well, no, I can use something. I use something else, and I think, oh, I'll use a USB. That's what's pretty common now. Everybody's using these things. I use it to bring the information. It's today's. I tell you honestly, though, this design, it's easy to put it in upside down. I didn't really figure that one out. Pretty poor. But once again, is this here forever? I don't know. We used to talk about this as being forever. This was the answer for data storage, and it's pretty small. It doesn't last forever. I've had some of these things even crack on me, spinning and cracking. So, and I don't know if even your computer could even read that. So it's, again, they're not forever. All right? When I first came to YSU, this was our storage. We were using these. I have all my class plans on this stuff, but you know what? I can't access this anymore. My computer doesn't have it. I didn't even know if you even seen one of these before. I'm not even sure if you have. These are called floppy disks, right? And the size is 1.4 megabytes. Ooh, you know. But when this came out, this was something else, right? When I first started teaching, this was the storage device of the future. This was going to be what everybody was going to be using forever. The verbatim data life floppy disks. This is why they're called floppies. Anywhere from 6 to 16K. I think before they phased out, they went to 16K. And that was like, I don't know, 6, 7, A4 pages. Ooh, I'm set for life. Good luck trying to get one of these to be read today. But the whole point about it is, this is still usable. I can still use it. I can take it into the kitchen. I can take it into my office. I can open it up. I can read it. I don't need to plug it in. It's accurate information. It doesn't get corrupted. And it's always usable. It's always usable. So I think you guys, a lot of times, you rely a little too much on technology. I did too. I relied on this. I wish I could get into some of this because I know there's some interesting things on here. Same with these. I relied on these, and I can't use these anymore. These are still quasi-usable, but they're going away. We all use these, but we don't know what the future is going to bring. That's for sure. The problem with these things is you lose them. They're really small. I've lost quite a few of them. And another technology that I don't know if you guys are pretty much familiar with is VHS. You guys have one of these? Oh, yeah. I should open a museum of ancient cooking technology, because these things aren't usable. So once again, the student asked me about notebooks and things like that, and I do require you guys to take notes in class. And if so be, I will collect your notebooks and use that part of your final grade. So please, when you come to class, everything we talked about already is material you're responsible for. Okay? So when I put up a video or put up anything like that, please pay attention and please take some notes out of it. If you have questions, once again, please contact me. Contact me any way you can through school, through Cackle Talk, any way like that. I'm more than happy to work with you now about this before we get the meeting. But after we meet, I'll be more than happy to clarify it. And this is a really important part about your education, is to have something that you can use forever. Okay? The second point that a student asked me about, he knows I don't have any hair. Well, I did have hair. I did have a little hair here. But I shave my head now because of a bald spot. And it's just, right now, trust me, easy. I kind of like it. They go, why do you wear a hat in class? This is a last year student. He goes, why do you wear a hat in class? Because that. It's part of being professional. It's the uniform. The idea of looking and being professional, this is what we're here to. That's what you're here to learn. You're not here to learn to cook. Be honest with you, not really. You can teach a monkey to cook. To tell you honestly, I worked with a lot of people that have no education, culinary education, but they could cook perfectly well. You're here to become a professional. Pay attention to the other classes, not just the cooking class, but the accounting class, sanitation classes, all those other things. That's what's going to make you professional. I wear a hat because it makes me look professional. It completes the outfit. It makes it. I put up the side there, straight up and down. Like a rooster hat. We'll talk a little about the hats in a little while. The idea about profession, though. What's the difference between a policeman and a bandit? A policeman has a uniform. Between a terrorist and a soldier, the soldier has a uniform. The soldier is professional. And I want you guys to be professional. So sometimes I might say, hey, where's your hat? How come you don't have an apron? I want you just to be professional. Plus, in classroom time, people will come in from other schools, international students, they come in and look. I want you guys to look professional. I want you to look good. If the executive chef from Hilton comes in, I want him to look at my class and look at you and say, yeah, I'll hire that person. That person looks what I want in my kitchen. And it's very important. Closing up on the hats. All right? I don't really prefer the paper hats. You'll see me, I'm always wearing the cloth hats. These are what we call baker hats in America. Usually bakers wear them. I don't know why they call them bakers hats, really, per se. I like them. Only because they are more comfortable. They're cotton. They're washable. They look cool. Plus, a lot of times in restaurants, walk-ins, the big refrigerators, they have plastic curtains hanging down. These things always get knocked off. These things are easy to get knocked off. This stays on forever. Now, the idea of the tall chef hat is that at one time all hats were cloth. And you would get a fold in a hat if you knew how to fry an egg. Ooh, aha. Get one fold. Oh, I know how to make a souffle. Another fold. Oh, I know how to make a cake with eggs. Pound cake. Another fold. Every time you could cook an egg, you got a fold in your hat. And as theory goes, or a legend goes, after 100 ways of cooking an egg, your hat would stand up straight. And so that's why we have this hat today. This is why this is the chefs wear. People go like, oh, why is he wearing this funny paper hat? Looks like a chicken. I don't know. I really don't prefer for it, that type of thing. But it does make me look taller. I'm pretty short. But when it comes to comfort, sweat, and things like that, you'll see by my classes, though, I'm a very practical chef. I like getting the job done. It's not necessarily about that. But then people are going to ask, oh, why the hats? Now you know. Every time you get to cook an egg, you get a fold in the hat. And as legend goes, 100 eggs, your hat will stand up straight. Okay? Please, by all means, ask any questions. I'll answer them on these videos. That's for sure until we have class. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Get in contact me any way you can. That's for sure. Now we're going to move on a little to what I'm going to talk about is culinary English. English is, I know you guys, I don't like it. I don't need it, that type of thing. If you're an airline pilot, you have to learn English. You're a cruise ship captain, you're going to have to learn English. if you're going to go intern, you're going to go overseas. If you don't speak French or Spanish or another major language like that, you're going to need English. You guys, please, don't be afraid of it. You guys, middle school, high school, television, movies, you're exposed to a lot of, so much English that you don't even realize it. Maybe being shy, that is, I hate to say, it's kind of like a Korean trait. You guys are very shy about using it. With me, I'm not an English teacher. I don't run my class like an English. I don't care if you mispronounce words or you have bad grammar or the spelling is wrong. What I want is communication. Communication's important. Talk to me in Korean. Talk to me in English. Talk to me in Chinese. Just talk to me. Get used to it. Try to use it. A real important story is, in my experience, I moved to California, made an executive chef. We had 32 employees. Only 2 of them were native speakers. The rest were Mexicans, Guatemalans, San Salvadorians, Ecuadorians. They all spoke Spanish. One of the guys came up to me, Miguel Juarez, came up to me and goes, "Senor, can I help you?" I go, "Oh, you speak English. Can you speak English?" "I speak English a little." In 2 weeks, I had him from line cook to sous chef through the corporation because of his language abilities. There was other people that could cook better than him, that's for sure, but he had the language abilities. He got a promotion only solely on his English. Our students go intern, they go overseas, they come back, and they say, you know, they went up to the chef, they say, "Oh, hi, my name is Lee Young Choi, how are you doing?" You know, the chef goes, "Oh, nice. Oh, you're Korean. Tell me about something. Tell me about a food item. Tell me about things like that." And you should be able to explain your cuisine in your own language, in English. Basically, if you're working for a chef, how do you make kimchi? Doenjang, soy sauce is like gangjang, that's a mystery in the West. This brown, salty liquid, we have no idea how to make it. Muchicha. You guys have a lot of things that in the West, we have no idea about it. I talked about Changuita, one of my favorite things. You should be able to, in rudimentary English, rudimentary means basic English, how to explain to do this. We're going to be following up today, the rest of this, with a short video on how to make samgyetang. Why did I pick samgyetang? Samgyetang is pretty universal. It's very Korean. It's a very healthy item. It's very unique. We have boiled chicken, but we don't boil the chicken whole like that. It's stuffed with rice and insam, ginseng. So once again, when we're in class and I ask you, like, how do you make this in Korean? I want you to try to use basic English. As you can see on the what we have here behind me is a English and Korean guide, right? Scroll it up a little through the whole thing, please. Right? Right? All these words really are what we use in class. Individually, I don't know how to get you this information. Besides you copying it from what we have on this screen, which you can pause and do at your own time. Okay, I want you to do that. These are words that I'm going to be using in English in class. But this, if you go to the internet and you look up a recipe, you're going to find things in English, especially a Western cooking major. You're going to find things. But not only that, say if you're a Korean cooking major or you're a Asian cooking major, you might someday be posting your recipes in English. Think of it that way. Think about it for your future. Languages equal money. And if you speak English today, that's great. Focus on another language. Focus on Chinese. Focus on French. Spanish, I recommend highly, because that is really the lengua de cocina, the language of the kitchen in America. Spanish is, I'll tell you, my whole kitchen, 30 people, all spoke Spanish. I learned Spanish quite quickly. I took French in high school, like most Americans, we learned that. I speak that a little, but not as much as I speak Spanish when it comes to running a kitchen. That's for sure. And once again, teach me Korean. I like to learn new terms, and all these, dashida and like shingapta and doma and nembi, gukcha, all these words. I like to learn so I can help to teach you. You teach me, I teach you. But once again, what I'm saying, languages are a lot of money. They equal money. Please, on this list, 1, cut up, chop, slice, grate, peel, beat, saute, pour, carve. And then we have the conjunctives, the together words. Fill blank with blank, right? Fill pot with water. Fill bowl with rice. That's how that would work. Number 12, add blank to blank. Add salt to soup. Very, very common. Very common usage, that's for sure. Add to. The difference between 12 and 13, put in, more like you put the chicken in the oven. Right? You don't add the chicken to the oven. Adding is more of an ingredient where putting is put the meat in the refrigerator. Right? You wouldn't say add the meat to the refrigerator. Combine is 14 and 15. Sometimes you guys get confused on that. Combine and mix. Combine, it means to put things together basically gently. Mix, whap, 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 whap. Mix well, shake well, mix well. Combine, especially in baking classes, if you're folding in, say, sugar to whipped egg whites, you're not going to mix that in. You're going to fold it in. You're going to combine. It means to put together kind of gently. The rest of the words that are not conjunctives, cook, obviously, bake, broil, go to the top, number 20, right? Fry, steam, scramble. Scramble really used for eggs. Barbecue is kind of misused in Korea a lot of times. Barbecue generally here means grilled, but and at least in American culinary standards, barbecue usually means grilling with a sauce. And usually a tomato or ketchup-based sauce. So that could be, look, a lot of times people say, oh, it's Korean barbecue, and somebody looks at it and goes, that's grilled pork. It's not really barbecue per se. It's a small difference, but at least you should understand that usually it means a sauce. Stir fry, which is traditionally what we consider Chinese-style cooking. Microwave, jacharenji. Sweat is something I use a lot, and you'll see it in other recipes too. It means to cook without color. You sweat onions and garlic means you cook until you get the smell coming out. And in class, that's almost step 1 in all Western cooking, in all classes. It's usually you sweat the vegetables first. That's always and that's a term you're going to understand quite well. You look at the dictionary, sweat's dam, I think it's a term. Sweat, it means different in cooking terms. Puree, combine, we talked about, let rest. Deglaze, a cooking term where you flambe with alcohol or water, wine, stock, beer, doesn't matter. Deglazing is basically cleaning it, which is another very common step. Reduce, jorida. Knead, you don't pronounce the K. Making bread, doughs, kalguksu, you knead the dough, right? That's what you do, okay? Incorporate and combine have a similar nuance. They both basically mean the same thing. To incorporate is to put two different items together. Combining is the same thing. So if you see a recipe and one says incorporate and one says combine, they really mean the same thing. It's a gentle mixing, whereas opposed to blending, pureeing, and mixing is more vigorous, more action involved. Very common word, the 34, you see on a lot of Western recipes is a pinch. Now, I don't know if there's a Korean term for that, that's for sure, but it always means a little. And once again, with salt, and even like a recipe calls it like a pinch of chili powder and cayenne pepper. They do mean a pinch. I mean, they mean a little. Leave it up to you guys. And it's like, oh, the recipe said a pinch of, that's a chili pepper, a pinch. Wham! You guys put a handful in. Once again, other classes, other styles, your kitchen, your way. That's for sure. In my kitchen, please try to follow what I show you so you can understand the culture of my cuisine. Now we're going to roll a 5-minute video. It's about samgyetang, and I'll get back to you when we're done. Hi, and welcome to Adventures in World Cuisine. My name is John Baljenko. I'm a chef here at Yongsan University, and today we're going to make samgyetang, a traditional summer chicken dish served here in Korea. Okay, samgyetang, made of these basic ingredients: fresh whole garlic, dried daechu, jujubes in English, sweet rice in Korean called chapsal, fresh peeled chestnuts, and the key ingredient is ginseng. Korean ginseng is actually famous throughout the world. These are 2 specimens. Every year they grow a new knob. This is a 2-year-old ginseng, and this is a single-year ginseng. We're going to peel it down and use it this way. The flavor ingredients: pepper, salt, and garnished with chopped onions. We're going to peel it down for this purpose. What I did, I took the chapsal, I washed it quite well. I take the garlic and the jujube. 3 is fine, 2 garlic's good. 2, got a very small bird, so we use 2 of that. I took the ginseng, cleaned it, and sliced it. Mixed that in. Took the chicken, cleaned out any extra fat. Take the wings, fold them into the back. At this point, mix together. There's no salt or pepper in it at this point. Make sure you get some rice in the beginning. Work it all the way up to the head, or where the head was. Now this is a key point. Make sure you get it all the way up to the neck. After it's stuffed, you can take a daechu, chestnut, and garlic. Don't worry about a little rice sticking out or anything, that's fine. I'm taking the skin, just folding it in. Taking the wings, folding it under. A traditional type of cooking pot called kamisok. This is what we're going to cook it on top of the stove with. So I'll take my chicken, place it in. It's okay if you lose some of it. Tuck them in. I'm going to just about cover this with some water. And now we're going to boil it. Not simmer, but a pretty rolling boil for about 30 minutes. Okay, great. Here we go. It's all done. Let it simmer. You can tell when it's done that it's very tender. It just falls right apart. It's not really a braising, it's not a stewing. Alright. Turn off the heat. Garnish it with some fresh chopped onions, a little pepper, a little salt, and there you go. Samgyetang, a summertime dish enjoyed in Korea. Okay, thank you very much for joining us on this program. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have. You can visit our website for all the recipes and bios of our guest chefs. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a good day. you think of that? A little different look going on back then, that's for sure. The idea, though, some things don't change, and that's what I'm talking about basics. Basics don't change. You stay with the basics, study the basics, and I'll see you next video, okay? Have yourself a great time. Be safe, be cool, practice at home. Bye.